Let's just get straight to it. Ibrahim Traore is alive today because of Putin and the Russian army. That is why he is alive today. Putin has been protecting him. There's no way that he had the covert intelligence to prevent all of the assassination attempts, which is now in the 20s. Not only did Russia sell advanced military equipment to Burkina Faso, they also canceled the debt that Burkina Faso owed Russia. Russia has always supported African nations. Russia started, after World War II, Russia started the freedom schools where they educated Africans, and then when they finished their education, they were allowed to go back home to help build Africa and African technology. But this has always been thwarted by NATO, which is led by the United States. And the United Nations, who I grew up thinking was a special organization, is just another covert arm of NATO and the United States. It is my opinion that Africa and their presidents should not do business with any countries that colonized, enslaved, and exploited them. Africa should not do business with any countries that colonized, enslaved, and exploited the countries and exploited Africa for their resources, because they do not respect Africa. They do not respect Africa or African people. Any country that is racist toward people of African ancestry should not be allowed to live in Africa. You have India moving into Africa. You have Chinese moving into Africa, and they want to set up their own neighborhoods, and they want to mistreat Africans. So why would you allow them to set up camp in your home and bring their racism with them? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. None whatsoever. Why would you allow them to come into your country visa free, but you have to pay to enter their country? It makes no sense, and they are disrespecting you. And when the only people that can disrespect a people and get away with it are bullies. Africa has never been an ally of the United States. The United States has always bullied Africa, and so has all the NATO countries. They've always bullied Africa, and they have no respect for Africa. And if you want to know where truth lies in respect. Truth lies in respect. Putin came out and stated Jesus is a black man. And if Jesus is black, then Hebrew Israelites are black. Putin is a man, when a person tells the truth, you can trust them. You trust people who tell the truth. You don't trust people who have enslaved, colonized, and stole your resources. And this goes for Arab nations as well. And these so-called Islamists coming from the Middle East, Algeria, Africans should separate ourselves from them. We should separate ourselves from them. Now, we can do business with them at an arm's length. We can do business with them at an arm's length. China. We can do business with China at an arm's length. But the Chinese people are basically racist. They're racist. But once you call them out on their racism, then you can do business with them. But the biggest problem we as African Americans, we as African Americans and Africans, is allowing our very intelligent and innovative children with their God-given scientific intuition. We can't allow them to go to schools in America and in NATO countries and in Asian countries, because all they are doing, they're not learning anything. They are educating these countries, and these countries are using this knowledge against us. They're using this knowledge against us. The only country that young African students should go to are those in Russia, because Russia has always given to Africa. Russia is that guy in the classroom that tries to help you stand up to the bully. Russia has always tried to help those that are being bullied, Africans. I'm not saying that all Russians have not fallen prey to racism, but Putin did say that from this point on, Russia will worship a black Jesus. That is respect enough. As long as the Russians respect a black Jesus, it is up to Hebrew Israelites to earn and gain their respect. I would also like to say this. The reason why Russia is winning the war in Ukraine is because they worship a black Jesus. They worship a black Jesus. And black Jesus is not going to let them down. Black Jesus owes Russia. Black spiritual masters such as Abraham, Moses, they owe a debt of gratitude to Russia for helping Africa to stand up on its feet. We owe Russia. Go back to after World War II and see who started the freedom schools to educate black people. And they have continued to do this. Russia defeated the Khazars back in the year 12,000 or way back in time. And the Khazars are the people who claim to be God's chosen people, and they live in Israel. I have been accused of being anti-Semitic. But if I'm anti-Semitic, what is their white Jesus, who said that the Israelis are usurpers and worship in the synagogue of Satan? So evidently, white Jesus is anti-Semitic. But the reality of the situation is that white Jesus is an illusion. And this statement was made by a black man whose name was Yahuwah. With that, like and subscribe. But the point I want to make is that the only country, in my opinion, on this planet that blacks should trust is Africa. Because without Putin, there would be no Ibrahim Traore. There's no way he could have stood up to all the attacks by countries that specialize in covert activities. Without Russia and Putin, we owe Russia a debt of gratitude. Now like and subscribe.